Yes, people, what is good? A bit of a sit-down, informative one for today. Mate, I'm going to let you know exactly how to build a jacked, lean physique that you can hold year-round. How to make your body responsive, eat more calories, be leaner, look jacked year-round, have easier diets, be able to grow more muscle and just look fucking like you lift. Here is some credentials I'm going to put on the screen. One, my own journey over the past couple of years in terms of the muscle mass and the level of leanness I've been able to accumulate. And I'm also going to put either a few videos or fucking photos of some clients that I've also had what's the word? I've had I've had the pleasure of coaching, as that is my job. I'm an online coach, so you can see the credentials. Right, this is where it starts. Let's get about it. Step number one, okay, to build a lean, jacked physique that you can hold year round, get lean. I go on about this all the fucking time, okay? Everyone is literally one big fucking diet, a diet in which they treat with absolute fucking purpose and they actually go all in. Can you actually sit there and say you went all in a fucking diet? You've given this as much effort and time as you have your career, school, university, anything you're doing, mate. You've got structure, order to your life, right? Put the same effort into this. What's going to happen when you get lean? As you get leaner, when you're in a lean position, that is when you're going to have the best aesthetics. That's when you're going to probably look the most muscular. You can be the heaviest and the biggest you've ever been in a bulk. And I'm going to put a wee picture up of the biggest and the heaviest I was in a bulk, right? I was really heavy in weight, 110 kilo, the most muscle I'd probably had. I then dieted all the way down, whatever I am here, I'll put a picture up. 15, 20 kilo less in body weight. I look way bigger and fuller and jacked and aesthetic, right? So being bulked and being bulk mode isn't always the answer, right? Getting lean and doing one diet is going to allow you to look good, be aesthetic, but not only that, man, it is the cheat code. It is the fucking cheat code to building more muscle in the long run, to remaining more insulin sensitive, right? So when you are in a lean position, when your physique is leaner, okay, your body is going to shuttle through the food that you eat way more efficiently, all right? A leaner physique is a more responsive physique. Now, I'm not saying that needs to be shredded. If you open up Instagram or TikTok and you're constantly seeing like shredded physiques, these are the top 1%. I'm just saying, get lean, have clear, visible detail within the muscle. If you were to flex and tense and look at muscles, you can see detail, you can see some lines, right? Doesn't need to be shredded, right? But it needs to be lean, okay? When you're in that spot, your insulin sensitivity is going to be fucking massive, right? How well your body absorbs glucose and manages glucose and essentially just fires through it. Your body's going to be way more efficient at partitioning nutrients. So, if you have a meal post-workout and you're in a lean position, your body's going to uptake all the nutrients towards muscle protein synthesis, towards anabolism, towards growing new tissue, way better and way more efficiently, all right? Not only that, but as I said, like when it comes to like off-plan eating, it's a Saturday night, you want to grab a Five Guys. When you're walking around leaner, your body's just a bigger furnace. It just manages and burns through food way more efficiently, okay? So that is why I would get lean, okay? Get lean first, because what this now also means for you, mate, is you're happy with the physique, you look the way you want to look, but now you want to go into a growth phase. You want to now build the muscle. You're lean, you're happy with how lean you are, but you want more, right? You want to still be lean, but have a bigger chest, delts, arms, right? Here's the growth phase. So with the growth phase, man, like when you start a growth phase lean, right, you are going to look better during the growth phase. Does that make sense, man? Like I've done bulks in the past, man, where I've been 8, 9, 10 weeks in and I've gained way too much weight too quickly. What was me dieting, starting off pretty lean, and then within a couple of weeks, man, I've put my food up too quickly and I've lost that lean look and I've just kind of masked it off as, I'm bulking, it's fine. Nah, man. As I said, when you're lean and you remain lean, you remain more insulin sensitive, you can partition nutrients better, and you look better year round, okay? Not only that, man, but like when you go through a bulk, when you have more body fat and you are that of a higher body fat percentage, your body will actually just favour holding more body fat, if that makes sense. So as you get fatter, right? If you're kind of dirty bulking, or you're not being you're not tracking your calories as much, you're letting things slide, you're eating out too much, and your rate of gain, you're gaining way too much weight too quickly, you're going to accumulate more fat again. That's going to then impact your insulin sensitivity. It's going to impact how well your body partitions and uptakes nutrients if your food's all shit and you're getting fatter. And then when you are fatter, your body it's going to rather add on more fat mass than it is muscle mass, right? So that is why remaining lean is the cheat code, okay? It is the fucking cheat code, man. And I wish I'd done this way sooner, because I was always like, I never really got that lean past diets. And then when I would bulk, I would start my bulk in okay shape, but not lean. And then within 8 weeks, mate, within my bulk, I was a lot softer, way fatter. My food was kind of shit, and I was building weight. I was adding on way more fat than I was muscle, right? So when you go through your growth phase, try and stay leanish. Don't need to stay lean as fuck, because you're going to have to add on a little bit of body fat, but you should control that body fat. So if you want to build a lean, jacked, aesthetic physique year round, then ultimately it's going to be no issue when you do the diet phase. But when you do that growth phase, man, stay lean in the growth phase. Be controlling of the rate of gain, you're going to build the most muscle when you spend the most time in a growth phase. Let's just say you get really fucking lean, right? You're happy, you've got abs, you look good, right? You want to build as much muscle as you can. That ain't going to happen from a 12-week bulk or even a 16-week bulk. Are questionable. So I would always aim for between, we can say 4, right, at the lowest end, but between 4 and 6/7, don't say it, months, right? Now, if you want to spend all that time growing, you can't be gaining 1 to 2 pounds a week every week for that whole 6-7 months, because you'll be fat, right? It's the training that's going to do the work for you, man, right? When you're in the gym, when you are training, okay, make sure that the training and the workload and the sets that you do, that is what's going to allow you to build lean mass, mate, right? We can have an individual who's, in a bulk, in an off season, all right? And, they start off fairly lean, right? Their training can be very poor accuracy. The accuracy on the muscle isn't there. The speed's way too quick. The range of motion's all over the fucking gaff, and the level of effort isn't where it needs to be. We want to have all of those things in place. Now, if your training isn't that, and you're eating in a surplus, you're adding body weight, but the training's shit, you're probably going to add more fat than you are muscle, because the training stimulus is so shit. Now, if your training stimulus is very fucking good, you're doing a shoulder press, control, maximum range of motion, as you contract and get to those last hard reps that are promoting mechanical tension, because mechanical tension, mate, is what's ultimately the key driver to building muscle. Those last slow moving reps of a set where form's tight, range of motion's tight, you don't start moving about, you just grit it out and stick those fucking reps out. If you can create the most accuracy and feel and control and intent whilst training a muscle and taking it to a high level of effort, you're going to build way more lean fucking mass with a clean diet, starting off in a lean position, than somebody who's lean, bulking, but the training stimulus is poor. So be more focused on the training stimulus than you are the actual food, right? Food doesn't build the muscle, right? Food facilitates, right, the calorie demand that you're putting your body through. Food facilitates recovery, right? But it is the training, mate. It is the training that builds the muscle. So take pride in how your training looks. If you're going in, man, and you've not really got much direction, and you're just 10 reps, yes. I'll put an extra 5 kilo up. And you're grinding shitty reps, mate. Your training stimulus is shit. And if you're sitting there with the ego heart, look at yourself, man. If you haven't progressed your physique in the longest time, a year, 6 months, a year, 2 years, right? Look at your training, mate, okay? Now, once you've nailed training in terms of, body weight, rate of gain or whatever, I'm going to use myself as an example. Now, I don't really like giving a strict rate of gain. I don't really like that, if I'm being honest. I just like knowing that body weight is slowly going up, right? Now, I'm around 96, maybe 97 kilo at the moment. I started this bulk 10 weeks ago. Obviously, I started my bulk on the back of a hair transplant, so my body weight dropped down a lot. But in terms of my baseline body weight after my hair transplant, whatever, I was probably sitting around 93 kilo, right? I am now at 96. I've gained 3 kilo in 10 weeks. I've been slow, methodical, taking my time, controlling it. This has allowed me to remain insulin sensitive. This has allowed me to remain looking good 10 weeks into the bulk, and I'm going to continuously look good another 10 weeks into the bulk. I'm not chasing scale weight. I do want scale weight to gradually go up, but what I like to do is a wee increase in scale weight, hold, don't push up, eat the food I'm eating, enjoy the training. If training performance is going up, if sessions are feeling good, body weight's marginally going up or staying the same, I won't change a thing. If body weight genuinely has not fucking moved a needle, right, for at least 2 weeks, now I'll get a little food increase, but I'll only put the food increase if I know that my training is that of very accurate, intense training, right? If your training is very poor, very shit, food's not the answer, better training's the answer, all right? So when you look at then setting up your training to then build a nice, jacked, athletic looking, good physique year round, a couple of training splits that I'm a big fan of for the guys. 4-day split, I'm a big fan of upper lower. Now I do understand the upper body volume you can maybe work in from an upper lower isn't that of the highest. Now if you train really hard and train to failure and your sessions are really good, you will get a lot from an upper lower. So I would go upper lower, and that means if you want to evenly grow the upper and the legs, and that's a good bet. Some individuals grow pretty well from one leg day a week. I personally do one leg day a week, and I have a little bit of hamstrings on a second day. So with that being said, another good 4-day split would literally just be push, pull, legs, upper, right? So your upper body frequency is higher. You can allocate more volume towards the chest, the back, the delts, the arms, which is where I would put the most volume if you want to build that big jacked looking physique. Is in your growth phase, have adequate frequency of side delts, adequate frequency of arms over the week, and at least training your back and chest twice a week as well. Delts and arms, honestly, I train arms every day at the moment, whether it's a bicep, a tricep, a bicep, a tricep, and I'll honestly tag on side lateral raises as often as I can, and I recover absolutely fine from it. So those are my go-to 4-day splits. 5-day splits, I'm a big fan of push, pull, legs, upper, lower. I really like that split. I'm also a very big fan of push, pull, legs, right? Upper, and then posterior, which is what I personally run. Push, pull, legs, or push, legs, pull, rest, push, and then posterior would be back and a bit of hamstrings in there. Or maybe you can put a little bit of legs, but the back's the priority of the work. Or we can go push, pull, legs, push, pull, right? These splits are going to be very good at building a jacked physique because you get adequate volume across the muscles you want to look good. Now, let's just say, you've gotten lean, you're growing, you're remaining insulin sensitive, you're keeping your food quality good because your food will metabolize differently based on where the calories come from. If someone's eating 3,000 calories worth of, sweet potato, rice, cream of rice, oats, good fruit, rice cakes, honey, peanut butter, fucking maybe a little bit of cereal in there scattered in, good protein sources. If that's the bulk of your diet, man, your body's going to be very metabolically efficient, okay? But if you're comprising the diet from if it fits your macros and that is your excuse for fitting in as much shitty foods as you can, if you look at your diet and you are incorporating a lot of shitty foods very consistently or a lot of processed foods, then how your body metabolizes that food will be differently, all right? So let's just say, somebody intakes, X amount of 500 calorie meal, right? And that meal is sweet potato, chicken and veg, right? Every carbohydrate intake you have is going to spike insulin to a degree. Now, the higher the spike of insulin, right? Obviously we get a bigger blood sugar increase. If we're getting massive blood sugar increases, mate, not ideal over the day. So when you have like good quality food at play, veggies, good fruit, good carbohydrate sources that have fibre present in it as well, that can massively reduce that insulin spike, reduce that blood sugar spike, and it means the body is actually going to be much more efficient at burning through more of those calories and having a bit of a better metabolic function with that food, if that kind of makes sense. So what you eat matters in terms of having a better metabolism. So if you want to be able to eat more calories, right, year round, then getting lean is the goal. And then, as I said, keeping food quality high and the training stimulus is the forefront is going to be the biggest factor you can do, all right? Now, when it comes to growing, as I said, you're going to grow, you're going to add a little bit of body weight at a time, training that you want to fucking look jacked, big and lean, but this is the thing now. When you've now finished your bulk, you should still have abs. You should still look in decent enough shape, fluffier in bodybuilding terms, but still in good shape, because now you've put yourself in a position whereby you don't need a fucking 20-week diet. You do not need a big, massive diet to get you lean again. When I get to the end of a bulk, I'm pretty lean again within 6 weeks. How many of you can say that a 6-week diet, you're gonna be really in shape? If you can't say that, you've maybe pushed the bulk too far. Now, if I want to get in incredible shape, 10, 12 weeks of hard dieting will get me like very, very, very fucking lean, right? You'll find that if you start a diet, doing everything I just said there, you'll be able to diet on way more calories, way more food than you ever had before, which is gonna make dieting way more enjoyable. How quick you'll get lean is way fucking faster, right? And you'll be able to push the boat and get even leaner than you ever have, because you've already been walking around feeling fairly in shape and fairly lean. So that basically means that you know what it feels like to be lean. The biggest issue with people trying to get lean is they've never experienced walking around in a lean physique, right? I remember when I'd only really been fat and fluffy. When I did my first diet, it was hell, because I'd never been that guy that walked around with abs. You know, some people, you've probably got some friends, people you knew from school, people that you're friends with at the moment, who are just always lean. It's all they know. They've never been fat, right? So to them, dieting hard isn't a big deal, or being lean is fine. But when you've never been lean, it's going to be a harder feeling. So if you maintain a leaner physique year round, your ability to actually push and get leaner at the end of a bulk into a diet is going to be way fucking better. Push up, right? Building a lean jack physique year round, that's how we do it. But if we want a progressive physique as well, then I like to do between a 4 and 6 month push-up phase, growth phase, bulk for as long as I can. Training intensity is really good, food quality is good, and I'm not really trying to push the scale weight up too quick. I'm chasing it, right? I'm chasing training and feeling my training. Once I've done that, I'll lightly mini cut. I'll take between 6 and 10 weeks and aggressively bring my food down and really push and get as lean as I can again. I'll go back into another growth phase, and then I'll diet again. But that second diet is a nice, long, prolonged diet. I'm a little bit less aggressive, I'm a little bit more patient, and that will get me shredded, mate. And if you rinse and repeat that process, man, you'll hold and walk around with a lean jack physique year round. But the cheat code is, mate, get fucking lean. Get lean and stay lean, right? Leanish. That is the cheat code to looking good year round, mate, and being very responsive and efficient at building muscle, dropping body fat. That's how we do it. If you like this video, mate, like it. If you want to see more videos like this, man, subscribe to the channel. I do upload a lot of like vlogging and day in the lives and just me, my lifestyle, but I like sitting down with the camera and getting informative with it. So hopefully this paid off and you got a bit from it.